This is going to be brief on my end. Obviously, it's in the very early stages, so there's a number of things that are ongoing as we speak. I do want to tell you that shortly before 3 o'clock this morning, we received a 911 call from an individual who was at 8718 South 143rd Avenue. She had claimed that her father shot her mother. He was currently armed at the time. There was some expression on her part that he had the gun pointed at her to some extent. Our responding officers were alerted that we had been to this house about a month earlier, and there was alert on the house because of the response they received at that time. It was a domestic, and when we followed up for mental health issues the next day, that individual told us, be careful, you shouldn't come back here. At this time, the officers arrived at the location. There was gunfire initiated by a subject from inside the house, out the plate glass window. One of our officers returned fire. At that point, entry was made into the residence, and he was found deceased. However, life-threatening at that time, and they did administer life-saving measures to no avail. We'll give you the name of the female that was deceased prior to our arrival. That is Rebecca Geiger, G-E-I-G-E-R. Date of birth 4/1979. She's 45 years old. She is a teacher at Westside High School. Westside is aware of this and is expecting a call from you all shortly thereafter. As you might imagine, there were 5 deputies on the scene. They've all been placed on administrative leave. They all had body cameras on. In addition to that, this individual had cameras both inside and outside the residence, and there's a number of Ring doorbells that are being examined. As far as the 911 call and those recordings, that'll be up to the county attorney who's here with me, or the Chief Deputy County Attorney, John Rice. He's working with the FIT team. FIT stands for Force Investigative Team. They operate for our agencies here in Sarpy County, Papillion, La Vista, and ourselves. Anytime there's an officer-involved shooting, they are called out. They're working the case actively right now. And with that, John, do you have anything you want to add?
Thank you, Sheriff. Yes, the FIT team is working the case right now. I've been in contact with Captain Kinsey, who is part of the FIT team, early this morning, shortly after the incident occurred. We'll have to wait for their report to determine where we go from here, but ultimately it appears as if we'll have a grand jury and evidence will be presented to the grand jury. As Sheriff Davis mentioned, it appears there is a substantial amount of evidence to be collected, and it'll take some time before it can be analyzed by the team and conclusions determined as to what happened here. In the meantime, we will stand by and answer questions for the FIT team and work with them when it comes time to present to the grand jury and review any conclusions they come to. That's all I got.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it. We'll get more information in the next couple of days. We may have to do another one of these, but again, all your requests should go through John Rice in the county attorney's office.
The daughter called police. Were there any injuries to the daughter or regular children?
There were 2 daughters in the house. Both of them were taken out of the house okay, along with 2 dogs, and they're fine.
Do you have ages of the daughters?
One's 19, one's 14.
13?
14.
14.
Did they live there?
Excuse me?
Did they live there?
They what?
They live there?
Yes.
They both live there?
Yes. All right.
So in order to write that down, sorry, I can't quite hear.
What's that now?
Can you just reiterate
Who passed away?
Yeah, that was Rebecca Geiger, G-E-I-G-E-R, and she's 45 years old. No, there's another deceased person, her husband, and we're not releasing his name.
Weapons found?
Several, yes. All right, thank you very much.
Did he die from a sheriff's court?
We have no idea at this point. We have no idea at this point. Obviously, we still consider it an officer-involved shooting, so That information hopefully will come in the near future, and
So you don't know yet if he maybe took his own life or was shot?
that's correct, we do not know.
Don't know that.
How many deputies fired?
To our knowledge, one,
One?
who was fired upon prior to him firing. Who was fired upon first,
Who was fired first?
yes. What'd you say?
He was fired.
Five deputies earlier, did you say five were on leave or five?
5 were on the scene. One of our deputies returned fire at the gunman.
Is it SOP to have all 5 officers on administrative?
Absolutely, per policy.
Why is that?
Just an officer-involved shooting. It's policy, it's routine, it's done all over the country in similar circumstances, and so, till we get more information.
Sheriff, can you talk about domestic violence calls? I know that you've heard that those are some of the most dangerous calls that,
In general, that is correct. Most dangerous calls are domestic violence calls. They're very volatile. We were there just a month prior to this. We're very fortunate in this case. None of the deputies were injured. None of the other family members were injured. It appears at this point, regardless of whether he took his own life or he was shot by one of our people, most definitely them responding and entering saved probably the lives of both those girls. So.
When you were there a month prior, you mentioned that you had, the deputies had been both careful as you returned here.
No, I think it was the next day when we followed up. We have a mental health deputies that respond to some of those cases afterwards to see if somebody needs further assistance, and they were basically told, stay away.
Who was it that said to stay away? Was it the husband or was it?
The husband, yes.
The husband.
is there anything you do after that that could be preventative, I guess?
On our part, no, not really. I mean, we reached out, we're told, stay away. Obviously, that causes us to put an alert on that house, and when they're dispatched there, the officers know that there's an alert, so.
Was it known at that time that there were weapons in the house? Do you know?
What time?
The first incident where,
I couldn't answer that,
Was that the only other instance of going to this house?
that I'm aware of, yes,
but you did find weapons in the house?
I guess,
And was it the daughter who called 911?
yes.
19-year-old or 14-year-old?
The 19-year-old.
19-year-old. Did you say whether either of them were hurt?
I'm sorry?
Were either of them hurt?
What year, what?
Were either of them hurt or injured? Either of the daughters?
Yeah, they're both daughters.
Were
Were
neither of them injured? Neither of them were injured, right?
Either what?
Neither of them were injured?
No, nobody was injured other than the initial victim, his wife, and he himself.